Do you know the one thing I can tell you about South Africans now is that South Africans will drag you. They will drag you to ensure that you learn your lesson.
Oh, so fabulous.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Dumebi Leah. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. I do hope you decide to subscribe, and if you are a returning subscriber, you guys know that I love you. It's so good to have you here. Welcome back. So as usual, this video is strictly for educational purposes. Please do not go searching out anybody that I talk about in this video. Don't send them any form of hate comments, threats, or violence. This channel does not support any of that. Yeah. To begin today's video, where are my South Africans? Please get in here. My Zimbabweans as well. You guys, your names got called. Get in here. My Americans, you guys are not left out. Please come in, take a seat, because today's video is a very juicy one. So there was this palm-colored lady, a very confused and ignorant one, if you ask me, who visited the beautiful continent, the beautiful motherland, Africa, South Africa to be precise. And when she was there, she decided to play a little Inspector Gadget, Nancy Drew, and then she made some findings and came back to America and decided to turn on her phone and make a TikTok to reveal the shocking things she found out about South Africa. You guys, let me just go right ahead and play her video.
Y'all remember last week when I was in Africa and I said I have a whole bunch of information that you don't know about because the media is not going to show you or tell you, and how I didn't feel safe talking about this until I was back in the States? Well, we're going to talk about it, so use your context clues because there's a lot of words that I can't use. I'm going to let you know what farm murder is, why it's happening, where it's happening, how long it's been happening, what are happening to innocent farmers, and then I'm going to tell you how I found out about it and how I wasn't supposed to know about it. Nobody's supposed to know about it. But I'm Brittany fucking Scoville, okay? I'm going to find out shit that you're not. I don't know how, but I always do. So, hashtag farm murder is something that's going on across Africa, especially South Africa. Zimbabwe is just above South Africa, and we are about 45 to 50 minutes from the border. People are illegally crossing into South Africa and killing innocent farmers. Now, let me tell you what. Obviously, there's no facts. This is coming from a very trustworthy opinion. And I'm saying opinion because do what you want with this information. You're not going to find it anywhere else. Nobody wants you knowing about it. A, because nobody's going to want to come if they know the risk and danger. And B, it's honestly kind of crazy that this is actually happening. Some of the stories that I was told left a pit in my stomach, and I double checked the locks on my door. I don't know how to say this without sounding racist, but this is how it was explained to me. I mean, if you talk about race anytime, someone's going to call you racist. So this is basically what I got from what I was told. The government is granting people, white African Americans and black African Americans, lands, but the blacks are getting it for dirt cheap or free. And I know everything's two-sided. This is just the information that I've been told. Black African Americans are granted this land and they are not utilizing it to its full potential, and it's just going to shit, to where white African Americans are using their land for profit and bringing money in, whether it's safari hunting, livestock, or crop. I know that's like a very bold statement of me to say, but that's just what I was told. And so what these black African Americans are doing is killing the white farmers, like 3,000 upwards a year. Because why? Because they are greedy and because they can, I guess. So I basically learned like why this was happening. So now let's talk about what is happening to the people. 2 years ago, I was hunting with my PH and I was on TikTok scrolling and I saw the hashtag farmer. And I asked him, what is this about? And he hesitated as if I wasn't supposed to know about it. And he said, if you see anybody that you don't know, shoot, stab, do what you gotta do. And this year I'm learning information from, I would say, a trustworthy source. He has family in the military and on the police force. And what he's saying and the stories that he has told me, this has been happening since 2020. And it's not talked about now, but it's still happening, if not it's as worse as it's been. This is where you're gonna have to really listen and follow, because I don't know if I can say most of this stuff. So what I was told is these people will come in, and even though you're in a gated area, a safari area, and you've got all of these gates and you're protected and you have all of these people with guns around you to keep you safe and whatnot, if they want to kill you, they're going to kill you. and there's no getting out of it. They'll have walkie-talkies set up everywhere, so if they really want to attack one farm in particular, but it takes forever to get to the middle of it because of all the gates and the land, they'll sit out and have walkie-talkies and talk to each other, and when they come in close, everybody that's on that farm, they will tie up in a house, and what they do to the women is they will take a broomstick and yeah, you've one of my followers actually messaged me and said her brother was in South Africa and witnessed a woman getting RAPED, and they did nothing about it because it was Black Authority police. If you are white and you are by yourself and you have even if you don't have jewelry on, you're fucked. Obviously, there's some places that are safe and there's some places that are just not safe. It's like a fucking red zone. You don't want to be there. Us Americans think that we have it bad. Basically, I left South Africa with a different standpoint of the world. That's why I love traveling. I get a different perspective every single time I go somewhere else. We've got a lot of fucked up shit going on here, okay? But so do they, and so does every other country. There's always going to be good and there's always going to be bad. Everywhere you go, it don't matter. Did I feel safe? I felt safe because all of the PHs were there, had their rifles and pistols. But there's always that little thing in the back of my head that just, I really thought I wasn't gonna come back.
So, you know, I'm sure some of you might have been confused at the beginning of that video, because when I was hearing white African Americans and black African Americans, I'm like, I was confused. To be sincere, I had come across some people reacting to her TikTok few days ago, but when I watched the first few lines of what she had to say, and I heard her say white African Americans and black African Americans, I was like, oh, maybe this one is not, maybe she's not okay. So I just scrolled past. I thought maybe it was a joke or something. But because I kept seeing videos of people responding to her, I was like, hey, let me go and really listen to everything she had to say. And it was then it occurred to me that she meant to say white South Africans and black South Africans, not African Americans. So I just needed to state that for anybody who might have been confused. So she was talking about the people of South Africa. So now, one thing that I want to point out is how clueless and how ignorant and how careless this lady is. Because if you're going to make such a flimsy mistake as even referring wrongly to the people that you're making the video about, that means you didn't even take the time to watch what you had recorded before posting. Because if you're going to come out and make a video talking about something as sensitive as that, one would think that you would watch that video over and over again to be sure you said it the right way, because you're releasing very sensitive information. You're talking about a whole group of people, a whole country, a race of people. You're basically inciting some things that could lead to serious problems. You know, people losing their lives, people losing their source of livelihood. Like, the weight of the things she said in that video required her to take a little more time to watch that video again, and she obviously didn't do that. So that lady was very careless and ignorant. Because why I'm saying this is, of course, you guys know that there must have been an apology video by her at the end of all that nonsense, right? So when the apology video came again, she made the same mistake by referring to Africa as a country. So that's to tell you that she doesn't even take the time to watch a video that she has filmed before posting it, to think of how sensitive a topic is that she's talking about. So she's careless. Anyway, South Africans have been dragging her, white and black South Africans as well. Americans have been dragging her. Other Africans have been dragging her. And I think what even enraged people the more was when she actually came out to double down on what she said, trolling people, responding to them, and telling them to shut up. Like, just watch these videos, guys.
I remember last week when I was in Africa and I said I have a whole bunch of information that you don't know about.
You didn't fact check for chick.
Shut up.
I mean, you didn't fact check for shit.
Would y'all just shut the fuck up and leave me alone? Like, oh my god. Nobody's being civil to me at all. One person in my DMs is being civil and actually, like, explaining it to me, because I have no fucking idea. Spreading misinformation. Yeah, maybe, but if you listen to my video, I said these are not facts. And, oh, but you said it's facts. These are facts. I said that, right? Okay. Besides the point, not a goddamn person has been nice to me. Okay, so if I didn't know something, let me know instead of attacking me. My sake. What would you want me to do? You send me the articles and links and you let me know what I should talk about. But instead, we're just going to call me a racist. Great. I did my account because it's honestly something that I've been wanting to do for a while, just social media in general. But especially with all of these black South Africans saying that I'm fucking racist. that I'm misleading. I know you guys are probably thinking that your comments are hurting me, but it's not.
Lady that didn't bother to fact check your shit then doubled down. Shut the fuck.
And it's crazy the amount of outrage she got. Well-deserved outrage, I need to say. And of course, our African American cousins were there as well, you know, chipping in, and I like that solidarity. So let me just go right ahead and play some of the responses and the well-deserved dragging that Lil Miss Nancy Drew got.
Innocent farmers. Now let me tell you what.
Oh man. Hold right there. I know you're not reporting on this. Who are you? Who are you? Because those same farmers that you're speaking about, are they South African by DNA or by birth? By birth of colonial default or by birth of indigeneity? Do you know how many white people there are in South Africa? 7% of our entire population. Do you know what that leaves us to? Being the 80% after the Indians and the Asians, etc. other. Did you know that there are black farmers? Did you know who are the people who work on those farms? Do you know what happens to the people who work on those farms? Did you hear about them being bait to crocodiles? Did you hear about them being for merely crossing a fence in their own home country? Who do you think you are? Hashtag farmer opinion that is credible. Unamanga. That's a snyela. You can never get a real life experience if you're still seeking from the same people who look like you, who came into our country to come and colonize. Who do you think you are? Reporting back on our lands? Our lands? You Flintstones really be yabba dabba doing anywhere. Talking about I was gonna report this once I knew I was safe. Get the out of here. You're not Charlize Theron. No one even knows your name. But I swear, go back to Africa. Go back to South Africa. Nas. I bet you weren't. I bet you weren't. Because you know that this is propaganda. Did you know that the UN had actually told the same AfriForum who were complaining about the farm murders that there was not actual information or evidence that proved that it was a genocide? You know why? Because more black people are killed in South Africa more than people who look like you. Because the 7% that you're speaking about, not even 50% of farmers, and the 80% of our population of people who look like me, majority of us work in those farms. Don't you ever empilweni yakho utter anything that has nothing to do with you. Wenzan, you're gonna spread awareness of what? Do you know what this clearly explains? How much uzonda abantu abamnyama lungundini. Ungazokhuluma ngathi. Then you want to include Zimbabweans saying that they're crossing just to do that. Ambamanga nje. For no reason at all. Listen to the people of the homeland. It's us, not you. Oh my god. Nobody's being civil.
It's going to be horrible for you. I'll be nice to you. I'll be nice to you. I'm a very nice person. I'll be nice to you. Wrong country. That's the thing. Wrong country. That's the first thing. Secondly, whoever gave you this information set you up. He or she knew very well what they were doing. They set you up. Set you up for failure. You're already telling us to shut the fuck up. It's only been a few days. Give it 2 more weeks, Mokel. Hold strong. Hold strong. Hold on. You need prayers.
That you don't know about.
If you watch that full video, then you should know you are watching a very misinformed individual. Because anyone that legitimately thinks there's a genocide against white South Africans has obviously been living under a rock. South Africa is a country of over 60 million people, of which almost 90% of them identify as black or colored. But the unfortunate thing is that 90% majority owns less than a fifth of the economy of South Africa. And we all know in this world, money talks. So any crimes that happen to a group that have enough economic and family ties around the world can easily be pushed as a narrative that paints a picture that has no relation to reality.
Great.
I see you have on the appropriate hat to keep the sun out of your eyes while you're down there picking cotton. But what I can't figure out is why you on social media on company time. It's not Sunday. You're getting called racist because you got up here and lied and said that white South African farmers are dying at the pace of 3,000 people a year, and that the blacks in South Africa are getting their own land for free, and the poor apartheid white people have to pay for it. Now stop trying to think and do what you're best for, working. Now, I know you thought you ate with this video, but as your physique suggests, you more like chewed and spit it out. Girl, I almost called the Red Cross and put in a donation for the starving children in Europe. I was gonna report your owners.
Don't know about.
Oh my god, you murderous Africans, leave Britney alone. Why is that sounding like something you should have done? Because it seems like you got here to meet up with these survivors of the tragic farm killings, and they showed you exactly where they farmed the audacity. So you went and got some for yourself, and you got onto the internet to trash talk indigenous Africans, using misinformation you got from people who aren't indigenous to Africa, and we all know how they got here. And when you received the backlash from the people you were trash talking, you still had a little bit of that audacity left, didn't you? You saved some up for later, because you are back here telling us that we owe you being civil. Fusak. Ungabuyi futhi la ngoba uyahlanya. Ungabuyi.
You don't know about.
Every single time I see an American get on the internet to speak about South Africa, without fail, they're going to say something racist. Stop talking about our country, please.
Now let's think about this logically for 5 fucking seconds. What is the biggest cause of crime? Poverty. Who are the people in this country, in South Africa, who are the most impoverished? Black people. Farms are not exempt from crime. The reason why the majority of farmers who get unalived are white is because the majority of farmers in this country are white, because the majority of land in this country is owned by white people. There is not an epidemic of white farmers being murdered by black people. That's not what's happening.
So
If you don't know how to say something without sounding racist, maybe it's because what you're saying is racist. I'm not even going to address the fact that she's calling South Africans African Americans. Like, making the claim that white South Africans are the only ones being productive with farmland is a racist claim. Saying, I know it's a bold statement, but this is just what I was told, I'm just repeating what I was told, does not make it any better. You know you can fact check things, right? You don't have to just take everything you're told at face value. Now, there is a system of land reform in place in South Africa in which the government attempts to buy land from white farmers to redistribute to black farmers. And this is an attempt to try and combat the inequalities created by apartheid. And yes, this program is small and it has been largely ineffective, but that is not because of the black farmers, it's because of the way the government has approached the whole situation, which is a conversation for another day. Also, like, the incredible leap of logic here, like, actually, can you even call it logic at this point? Like, to go from, okay, black farmers are being granted land, but they are not being productive with it. So because they are greedy, they are then murdering white farmers. Like, she knows she's talking shit here, because they can, I guess. Like, at least make your conspiracy theories make sense, you know, like. Anyway, it's also definitely not upwards of 3,000 farmers being killed per year. As we saw in the previous video, by AfriForum's own admission, it's around 50 murders. Which, 50 murders is still terrible, but it's nowhere near 3,000. And if we want to know why these farm murders are happening, it's certainly not land redistribution. From AfriForum's own report, most cases that involved murder also resulted in the robbery of their victims' property. South Africa is a country with a lot of inequality. It makes sense that these sorts of crimes are motivated by economic factors. It's not targeting farmers because they are white. It's targeting farms because there's property to steal. And because of apartheid, a lot of farms are owned by white people in South Africa. Also, this whole part completely contradicts what she said earlier in the video about it being Zimbabweans committing farm murders. So, like, she seems confused here.
But instead, we're just going to call me a racist.
No,
You do not get to act this way. That original video that you have made a week ago that's still up to this day has over 500,000 views. You told people as advice that you receive passing to over 500,000 people that if you see a black person that you don't know that seems suspicious, that you should kill them with no hesitation, no questions asked. You do not get to act this way. You are not even from South Africa. You visited South Africa and you started acting as if you knew what is going on in South Africa, as if you lived there for thousands of years, as if you were the primary source of this knowledge. You say, okay, maybe I said it was fact, but still, there is no but still. You just endangered black people in South Africa. You cannot act this way.
Isn't this the lady that didn't bother to fact check your shit then doubled down?
Shut the fuck, y'all. I don't give a shit. Just, god damn, this is annoying at this point.
For you to still have the video up that is gaining over 500,000 views, that you know people will watch and will not go further into your channel to watch your other video because the one that you made a response to only has a little bit over 100,000. And instead of taking down the video and acknowledging your wrongdoings, you say, you guys were being mean to me. Oh, what do you want them to be in a response? You know what? I'm sorry. You made a video that over 500,000 people seen that could potentially endanger my life. But how rude of me to call you out in a disrespectful way. And then you say, I got my sources from people who are police officers and are in the military. Because obviously, black people have a good standing with those two groups. Yeah, there's nothing, nothing for them to make those kind of assumptions. Especially when in South Africa, they have literally a town that is a white only town. Yeah, no, they have no discrimination towards any black person there. None at all. You have 1 million followers. You have over 500,000 viewers on that video, over 3,000 shares on that video. People will look at that video at face value and use it as information. You have created propaganda. You have created propaganda in a country you don't even live in. And then you want to cry about tears because you're being mean to me? Take accountability for your actions.
How long?
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Privilege. We have a philosophy here in Africa as a whole that when grown-ups are talking, children must stay outside. When grown-ups are discussing grown-up affairs, children must stay out of it. And they were trying to avoid exactly what is happening here. This little girl and her reliable source, who most likely likes to use the K word, are so far off from the truth. They will choose to push a narrative that they have actually concocted in their own head. Farm murder are not limited to a race, specifically a white race. Let's talk about the shallow graves. Did they tell you, your reliable source? Did your reliable source tell you that up until today, black people, not African Americans, by the way, we are not African Americans, we are black people in South Africa, we are African people on the African soil. So anybody that looks like you does not belong here. Did they tell you that too? They don't belong here. You do not call yourselves Africans. They should not call themselves Africans. They are not Africans. Let's get that clear also. Now, let's get back to this one. Did this person who loves to use the K word tell you all about all the shallow graves that are in these farms, these gated game farms, that they are generally limiting black people access? Unless they coming in and they booking in the lodge and that's all they do, and they ride around in the game ranger trucks, but they are excluded from the hunting. Do you understand why black people don't even engage in hunting animals for sport? Because those animals are our totem animals. You will find a blesbok, a buffalo, a lion, a giraffe, a leopard, you name them. There is a significant spiritual attachment to that, and that's why we don't hunt these animals for game. But white people, settlers, came in here, created all these gates where black people and refused access for black people to be able to communicate or connect with those animals.
Oh my goodness, yay. Another American telling us what is happening in our own country. I saved her video with the intention of breaking it down, but every 2 seconds is bullshit. Everything she said, she got from some white guy. She didn't spend time with any people of color in a position to talk to her about what is really happening. South Africa has a major crime problem, specifically gender-based violence. Farmers in South Africa are not only white. White people make up less than 8% of the entire population. So if there was really a white genocide going on for so long, we'd be gone by now. None of what she said is factual. No statistics, nothing. That video has over 70,000 likes. She carries on about no one wants to talk about it and no one is going to get the info anywhere else. The subject has been worn out. You can Google it. You can find so many articles on it, a lot of propaganda, but also actual statistics. If you want to speak on crime in South Africa, it's so much better to be talking about what is really happening. The gang violence in Cape Town, the gender-based violence, domestic violence, women being targeted. Those are problems we should be addressing. Farm attacks happen, but they happen to everyone, not just white people.
I think all those teachers have said it all. The purpose of that video was for her to come out and say, oh, white people are being treated badly in South Africa, they are losing their lives, the black South Africans are lazy, that's why they are not making good use of the land that they are getting for cheap, and the police is also ready to desist because they don't help the white people. Oh, I felt so unsafe, I had to go check the lock on my doors and this and that. Like, really? We know everything she said was a lie and exaggerated and seen obviously from the viewpoint of someone who definitely is trying to make it look as if there is a plan to wipe out the white people in South Africa, which you know is a lie. These farm unalivings are happening, and because the white people own most of these farms, that is why it seems as if it is racially motivated, but it's not. It's just crime. The people that work on the farm are blacks and they lose their lives too. So what exactly is your point? I'm so proud of the South Africans for speaking up, because these people are very clueless and then they feel entitled. If she knows the history, you know, sometimes I actually wish like some of these narratives that they try to, you know, paint about them being oppressed could be real, so that they could really know what it feels like. You're trying to make it look as if your people are being attacked because of the color of their skin, but we all know it's a big fat lie. Anyway, after all said and done, she came out and made this apology.
This is an apology video for everyone, especially the people of Africa and especially the people of South Africa. First of all, I just want to say I've been receiving a lot of death threats lately. Not only am I getting the harassment, my friends and family are getting harassed and threatened. This was last night at my house. We are taking all the measurements needed. I just want to say this isn't really a way to get a point across. If you're American, this doesn't really apply to you. So if you're African, listen to me. I'm here to apologize. I apologize for the negative effect that my videos had over South Africa and the people of South Africa. I also apologize for keeping those videos up and not deleting them sooner than when they should have. I entertained it far too long and they're now taken down. I went on vacation as a tourist and I wanted to share the bits and pieces. My experience was super limited, but I made it out as if it was the whole country of Africa and that nobody should visit. I made it sound like your guys' country was dangerous everywhere and that this was widespread. The reason why it took me so long to take my videos down was because I was still having people message me and tell me directly about their experiences about getting attacked. And so in my eyes, I just wanted to be a light for the people, very small amount of people getting affected. Many still are sharing their experiences in favor or not in favor of. I am genuinely sorry. I never meant to hurt or misportray anything, and I really wanted to represent your guys' country as best as I could, and I clearly didn't. And so I apologize. And I'm looking back at it all, and it's like, you should have used your head and just deleted it to begin with. My first mistake, and I should have deleted it right away, and I don't know why I didn't, was saying white African Americans and black African Americans. And I apologize for that. That was something that I didn't mean to say. It just came out. I get to talk. I guess my question for you is, what would be the best way to elaborate on the information, to share or not to share? I don't have to talk about it if you don't want, like, if you guys don't want me to talk about it, I don't have to. I am still open to learning any new additional information. If there's any areas that I should look into, let me know. And even if you guys don't want me to be posting about it and talking about it, I don't have to. I still want to learn though. Again, I just want to say I'm really sorry.
Yeah. So that's what I said. She referred to Africa as a country. The cluelessness. Oh my God. Woo. Then I don't know, but I'm really questioning the fact that she said she's been receiving death threats, because that's, to me, doesn't seem very likely that South Africans all the way from South Africa will be sending you threats to unalive you all the way in America. Like, they are going to fly all the way to come and unalive you. And by the way, at some point she deactivated her account, but as I checked yesterday, her account is back up with her whole 1.6 million followers that she spread that misinformation to. And of course, she left that video up there for a long time. So this all contributed to the outrage. You know, I almost feel sorry for her, except that I'm not sorry. She deserved all the outrage she got. And this should be a lesson to anybody who's going to think you're just going to come and talk trash about Africans, about black people. You're not going to do that. You're not going to gaslight our people. You're not going to demonize our people. And special kudos to the white people who also chimed in, and our African American cousins as well, because if you mess with one of us, you're messing with all of us. I am not going to lie, I enjoyed all the clapbacks, and I really enjoyed it. It was just like watching a drama play out. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Did you hear about it? And if you're South African, please let us know this whole thing. Shed more light on the whole situation in the comment section as well. If you're Zimbabwean, what do you have to say for yourself? Because you guys got dragged in, and I feel like you guys have nothing to do with it, but you guys also let me know what you think in the comment section. And yeah, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.